we go. 3, 2, 1. Look up. Hey. Okay. Now we're really live. Okay. A couple of false starts, but we're there, guys. Guys, good evening. Welcome to Cosi Talks. We are finally here. I know we're a few minutes late. A couple of technical issues, but it wouldn't be a Cosi Talk show unless I was having some sort of technical issues. So raise your gentlemen. Did you bring something to drink? Yeah, you got something there. John, with the mug with your kids on it. There we go.
Yep.
Cheers.
Different mug.
Different mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is different.
Still with kids on it, though. Or a kid.
Awesome. All right, guys. I'm seeing some folks jumping on board. We got Tom. Oh, Tom's in the house. Now it's a party. All right, John. Hey, y'all. As you jump on board, don't be shy. I'd like to know who I'm talking to, where you're from, and more importantly, what are you drinking tonight? Hopefully something a little more interesting than my boring old water here tonight. We got John on board. We got Mark. What's going on, Mark? Laura, I know you. Doug, we got Kristen. I know you too. You are not laughing. No, of course not. About time. Yes, thank you, Mark. Royce, there's my girl from Ireland. There's my Irish lass. We've got Harsh. We've got Damon. We've got Harvams. We've got India on board. We've got a whole global thing going on right now here, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Greece from Martin by Humix is on too. Awesome. We got Jody here from St. Louis. Roy's, what? Really, Roy's? I send you a Cosi Talks coffee mug and you're drinking water in it? No, man. No. You got to get something more interesting. Bonnie, you got coffee turning cold in Tennessee. I'm a little jealous right now. We got Grant from Utah with his usual Diet Dr. Pepper. And awesome. Oh, I'm jumping on board, Zach. Did you bring your game face? Yeah, you got your game face on. It's complete. It's complete with the what do you call the caterpillar?
Yeah, the poisonous Ethiopian caterpillar that's creeping across my upper lip right now. Is that my game face?
Guys, if y'all haven't been following Zach Gowen, y'all need to get out from under that rock that you're living in right now and go follow Zach Gowen and his mullet. That's just kind of the fun right now. Oh yeah. We got Doug Campbell in the house. Says hot milk in his mug. Oh, he's giving us the full 360, man. Oh yeah. All right. Roy's had the herbal tea. All right, Roy's, you're forgiven. We got Diana from Riverview, Florida. We got our fellow Floridians. Guys, we got a full house going on right now, so we're going to go ahead and get started. If this is your first time joining Cosi Talks, welcome. My name is Cosi Belloso. I'm a physical therapist, amputee specialist here in Tampa, Florida. And with me tonight, I have College Park in the house, week 2, talking about mechanical knees. We've got, I was pointing the wrong direction. We've got Jon Cook here, our prosthetist extraordinaire, who's going to be answering all the questions. And then we have Mr. Zach Gowen, the one, the only, the man who went against John Cena and lived to tell the story, American Ninja Warrior, yoga master, and soon to be father of 3 boys. When is that lovely wife of yours due, Zach?
She's doing 4 or 5 days, but who knows? We may have to do a little inducing to get that little guy to come out. In terms of having boys, though, I feel like I'm like Steph Curry from Golden State. When he gets hot from 3-point land, I can't miss. You know what I mean? Like, I just create boys over here. Like, my jump shot is wet right now. You see what I'm saying? So we're excited in the Gowen household to have the 3rd boy. We don't know what we're going to name him yet. We have a couple of ideas, but I think when we see him, maybe we'll know, maybe we won't. I don't know. But if we can get some suggestions in the chat and what to name my kid,
let's do that.
I'm open to everything.
We're doing a name and game. You can't take Bob. Poor Bob there. Bob's already been taken. I
like Robert.
I want to see who can come up with the most interesting name for Zach's number 3 little man. Your wife is going to love this. All right, guys. So last week we brought mechanical knees to the show, and this is not a show I had ever done before in the 2 years almost 2 years now I've been doing this show. So I was really excited to be able to bring you the information about mechanical knees. And I realized I was an extremely rude hostess last week, and I didn't even let John introduce himself and tell us about himself. So John, it's your turn now. Tell us about
there's not that much to tell. All right, I appreciate that. So as Cosi said, I'm a prosthetist. I'm a certified orthotist prosthetist. So in my career in patient care, I did a little bit of both. So I started off down the physical therapy route. I thought that's the way I was going to go. Due to, I think I mentioned last week, my father was a professor in physical therapy at the University of Iowa for 100 years. And so that's the route I thought I was going to go. I found orthotics and prosthetics kind of on the way. Went off to Northwestern for orthotics instead of going through physical therapy school, and then returned for my prosthetic certification. So I was in clinical care for about 20 years here locally in the Metro Detroit area with a company that has a large number of offices and clinics around here. So I've been with College Park for about 3 years now, a little more than 3 years now. It seems it's gone fast, except for this last year, which has gone painstakingly slow. So I've been on with College Park originally as a clinical education specialist, and then now I manage our clinical education team. So we're responsible for doing a lot of presentations, educating local and international prosthetists on how best to use our product. And certainly we help with the troubleshooting end of things too. If people are having trouble with product or need help and recommendations, what works best with what patient, that's all part of the team that we do. Or my team helps with a lot of those tasks. So that's me.
That's you. And on a personal level, you also have 3, yes?
I do. Yeah. I'm busy in a different way than Zach. I have 2 in high school and 1 in middle school. So it's a different kind of busy, but it's a little more hands off. But just finished up the first year. My son just finished up his freshman season of soccer. So that was fun. That was exciting.
Nice.
And my daughter actually is at marching band practice right now under the lights. So it's a little chilly out there in Michigan. It's probably getting down into the lower 40s, I think, tonight. So it's going to be cool. But
I was going to say,
the single digits for those of you in the UK or north of the border.
On the Celsius side of things, we got a lot of people coming on board with their comments tonight. Kristen wants to know, he's like, did you get rid of the mini mullet, Zach? And I was like, nope, it's
growing it.
It's not mini anymore.
It is the star of the show here. I was going to say, Bob's going to get jealous. We got to get Bob a little mullet wig and put that. Well, Jon, thank you so much for being here tonight. And guys, any questions that you have about mechanical knees and specifically the capital knee, this is your guy right here. Okay. I know I always get it wrong. All right. So guys, tonight we are going to do just a very brief overview of the capital knee and the different types of mechanical knees out there. Because I want Zach to tell his story and to, share with us his experience with the capital knee, because he's been trying it out and putting it through the gauntlet. Before we do, we're going to have our first raffle winner. So those of you who have been going to the Rebuild site and filling out this entry form, got an entry. We got quite a few entries here. This is really great. Hey, Jill, glad you could join us. Alex, what's going on, man? All right, our first winner for this evening is Tammy McBurnett. Tammy, congratulations. After the show, send me a private message with your shirt size and your address, and we will get one of these awesome shirts sent out to you. All right, guys, so let's talk a little bit about the mechanical knees. I always like to say they're kind of the prosthetic part that never gets any real love, but they are an incredibly valuable component in the world of prosthetics. They're incredibly durable, very dependable. They don't require as much maintenance as some of the higher end microprocessor knees. And like I said, you can put them through the gauntlet. So last week, I took you through the different classifications, and I like to classify knees the same way I like to classify feet, by their function, because there are so many, thankfully, nowadays we have so many options out there that it's kind of tough to puzzle out what they are, who's the right candidate for what, which one you should be looking at. So if you are someone who's in the market for mechanical knees, or you just kind of want to know what all this jargon is that people are using, watch last week's show. We go through all the different classifications. So I'm just going to quickly tell you the different classifications, and then we're going to get started with Zach's story. All right. So we've got the most basic of all knees, the manual locking knee. And that's basically it. It's the point A to point B knee, and it locks into extension to give that person extra stability. We have the single axis or constant friction knee, which I believe College Park's Guardian knee is an example of this one, correct? Mm-hmm. We have the stance control. We have the polycentric. It's that one with the 4 bars with the locking mechanism in it. We have fluid control knee, which includes both pneumatic and hydraulic knees. And then we have what I call the classification of hybrid knees, which is basically pulling on a couple of different of these categories. So I kind of put the capital knee into the hybrid knee category. It's a single axis knee and it's a hydraulic knee. And I'm going to let Jon tell you a little bit more about the specs on the capital knee.
Yeah, and that's again, we kind of talked last week about that hybrid classification. I've never really thought of it as hybrid being a great description, but I think it's perfect because again, it has it's a single axis in design, so that's the overall structure of it. It bends just one pivot point. That it is a cylinder hydraulic unit that's inside of it, so the hydraulics are controlled by a cylinder, like a shock or any type of cylinder hydraulic mechanism. And then it has different ways of controlling the motion. So the hydraulics are really what's stabilizing the motion in both swing and stance. So when the prosthesis is on the ground and when the prosthesis is in the air, it's being controlled by that. So that's kind of the basics. It has 3 different modes that I think Zach can probably talk about a little bit. He's had it on for almost a couple months now, I think, right? Something like that. So,
Very good. And it is a water-friendly knee made here in the States. The mode selection, which, I want to hear Zach's thoughts on the different mode selections on how that can how easily that flows. So this is the part where I stop talking. Zach, it is your turn. Tell these people your amazing story first, please.
Sure. Well, Cosi, first of all, thank you for having me back on Cosi Talks. It's always a blast. I think this is my 3rd time on your wonderful program. Yes. And I just listen. Well, here's the deal. On behalf of the amputee community, you see what I'm saying? To have advocates like you out there streaming every week, getting education out, letting people know what we're about, and that only helps us. It helps gets eyes on our needs and gives us a voice. So thank you for doing that, first of all. Of course, I love it. And shout out to Jon for fitting me with this capital knee, for crying out loud. Man, here's what I did today. I'm a 37-year-old father of soon to be 3. Hey everybody. Hey Rosie in the chat. I'm a father of soon to be 3. My kids are 8, 4, and almost born, I guess would be the term.
T minus 1 week. Yeah.
T minus 1 week. Yeah. And we don't have a name.
Not. Yeah.
And we don't have a name for it, but we'll figure it out. I do like the name Diego. Somebody mentioned Diego in the chat. Yeah. And every time, right. And then this is my test to know who the people around me, i.e. family members and in-laws, to see who the closet racists are. Because I'll say, we're thinking about Diego, which we really are, right? And then they'll go, oh, that's a Mexican name. You can't do that. And I'm like, you're a closet racist. I knew it.
But then when you got to tell them is Zach, no, don't worry. It's actually a Cuban name. You're fine.
That's right. Get them all confused. I love it. But no, we are Diego's. I think Diego's a beautiful name. But so today, for example, I mowed the lawn. I picked up sticks. I blew the leaves. I bagged them up. I went to the gym. I went grocery shopping. I made dinner, and I wrestled with my kids. All in the same knee, right? And that's what I love about the capital knee. It gives me all the exact same function, and I love the term hybrid because it gives me all the same function as a knee with a microchip in it, with a processor in it. But it's like a fraction of the weight, which for me is so important, having it be light because I'm such a high amputation. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? And so the lighter we can get the tech in my leg, the better for me in my mobility. But in terms of what's up? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was like, can you backtrack a little bit and tell folks a little bit about your history? Because there's some folks here who have never heard your story before.
Oh, for sure. Well, I lost my leg. Yeah, I lost my leg when I was 8 to osteosarcoma. And they had to take they took my leg away to give me the best chance to live, and they made the right decision, the surgeons and the doctors and my mom, because it's been 29 years cancer free, and I'm on Cosi Talks tonight. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's awesome, man. What a gift. And in terms of a biography, I don't know. I grew up and I've always loved professional wrestling, and I've always been really kind of strange. and passionate and enthusiastic, but also athletic at the same time. Right. And so I put all of that together and I became the world's first amputee professional wrestler. I used to wrestle in WWE. From there, and I've been wrestling literally over half my life. For the past 19 years, I've been a professional wrestler. From there, currently my main source of income is youth empowerment or youth engagement work. And I do that with my company, Cool Speak. We travel the country, work with parents, with students, with teachers on how to better engage kids. And we've been really, really busy because with all the virtual learning going on, yes, teachers are not equipped to like engage students for 6-7 hours a day. So we've been super busy in giving them our tools that we've accumulated over the years. I competed on American Ninja Warrior. I climbed the mountain with Romp. Shout out to the Range of Motion Project. And and I've been like this with College Park for the past year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And they're such a wonderful company, and their message and my message is the same, which is empowerment and education and motivation to put the first two to action and to work for us. So I do DDP yoga. Yes, Jim, I'm a level 1 DDP yoga instructor. I do that as well. I hold 3 classes a week here in the Metro Detroit area. I work with able-bodied people. I also work with amputees. So I work one-on-one with amputees where I develop a workout fitness yoga program specifically designed for their limitations as an amputee, because all amputees are different, man. We're like thumbprints, there's not 2 of us that are the same. So that's it, man. I think it covers it. I don't know. I feel like I talked a lot.
Quite a few comments coming in. We got Johnny saying, hello, fellow cancer survivor amputee. You know what, guys? I know I got a lot of cancer survivors in this group. I'm a cancer survivor. Zach is a cancer survivor. Cheers to the cancer survivors. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I'm going to put that plug in there. Guys, and let me hear from all my cancer survivors here in the group. Put a shout out there. Y'all deserve a shout out into the comments section. So Zach, you've been an amputee for most of your life. Right. You've had the opportunity, much like some of our other veteran amputees in here, like Tom Allred, to try several different prosthetic components between feet and knees and sockets and all that kind of fun stuff. What kind of a mechanical knee did you start off with when you were a kid and in your young adult years?
Well, this is why Cosi Talks is so important, because listen, I'm an amputee, and I'm somewhat of a high-profile amputee, right? Just due to the nature of my work. Yet for, 25, 26 years, for the first 25 years of being an amputee, I had the same technology in my leg as I did when I was 8 years old. You see what I'm saying? I had a total knee and a flex foot. That was it. And a socket where I would sit in it, put a sock over it, and a belt would go around my hip. The leg I had when I was 8 years old was the same leg I had when I was 31 years old. And I didn't even know as an amputee that there was better out there and that I could be fitted for it and that would improve the quality of my life. I didn't know. But thank God, I hooked up with College Park. I hooked up with the Range of Motion Project and some other awesome amputees that are like, hey, brother, like there's a lot better out there for you, man, that can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Alex is in the chat. We climbed the mountain a couple of years ago. I see Alex. And so they got me hooked up with Ronnie Dickinson, right? Yes. From Orlando.
Yes.
The POA in Orlando. Now he started his own thing in Tennessee. And
yeah, he's in Tennessee
right
now, yeah.
He set me up with this new socket deal at the POA clinic. And they were the ones who hooked me up with a microprocessor knee for the first time in my life, because for me, the issue was my residual limb is so short that in my head, I only thought that I could have a socket and a belt system. But they opened my eyes to all this new stuff they have going on, and it's greatly improved the quality of my life, and I'm forever grateful for it because it's opened up so many other doors. But yeah, so I had a total knee for like 25 years. Then I went to the microprocessor knee, the Orion 3. Mm-hmm. I had that for a year or two, and then now I'm rocking a capital knee. So I have a little bit of experience with different degrees of or various types of knees, so to speak.
And obviously you mentioned right off the bat that the lighter weight is what has been calling your attention to this particular capital knee, especially like you're Renaissance man. So you do everything, including chasing after 2 little boys. So the lightweight feature, yeah, that's I'm just chuckling because I'm like, oh brother, 3 boys, you don't know what you got.
Bring them on.
Bring it. But also, tell us a little bit about how you can change the modes on the knee and how that helps you during your day.
Well, yeah, 100%. And that's what's great about the Capital Knee too, is that it gives me almost all of the same functionality as the microprocessor knee at a fraction of the weight. We can do that by changing the modes with the click of a switch, right? So I can lock the knee if I want to stand, do the dishes, grill. If I'm painting the kitchen like I was earlier today, I can do that, right? Put it in lock position, stand there, do what I have to do comfortably. I can put it in a free swing mode if I want to hop on the bike, do a couple laps around the neighborhood, say hello to the neighbors as I drive by, or as I ride by, and then I put it in the middle mode, which is the walking function, which the hydraulic pump, and Jon can talk more about this, that comes into place that keeps me stable, right? So even if I'm on uneven turf and my knee gives or shoots out in front of me, which, having a less of a limb up top on my left leg, my knee tends to shoot out from under me sometimes, and the hydraulic pump kicks in, keeps me upright, keeps me moving, So I love all the functionality that the Capital Knee has to offer, and for them to be able to do that from a mechanical side of things, and then keep the weight down so that I can get up and down with my kids all the time, all day. What more can he ask for at this point,
No, that's good. I'm glad you mentioned that part about when you take a stumble, because that's another part of the component that I really appreciate is the stumble recovery side of it. And Jon, if you want to comment a little bit on that.
Yeah. So it's a function that is patent pending, right? It's a kind of a different way of doing it. Essentially, when the knee flexes, so the 3 kind of resistances to movement with the hydraulics. So we want a high flexion resistance when the knee first hits the ground. So that's that stance flexion when the knee bends slightly and then comes back straight. We want that knee to be stable and the foot's on the ground. And then when the foot first comes off the ground, when we're in late stance, we want the knee to bend pretty freely. So we don't want a lot of flexion. We don't want a lot of resistance to flexion at that point. Mm-hmm. And then as the knee stops bending and starts going back into extension, we also want a relatively low amount of resistance to that. We want the knee to swing through pretty freely. However, if for some reason that extension is interrupted, we've all been walking on a sidewalk and you hit that little, it's about that big, somehow that little tiny crack, and somehow you hit that and you look around and make sure nobody saw you. Anyway, if you do that with a prosthetic knee, a lot of knees don't have the ability to, generally speaking, you're gonna hop back onto the other leg, right? When that happens. If you're in a prosthetic knee, there's no resistance a lot of times to allow you the chance to hop back onto the other leg, or when you're talking about prosthetically, the sound side limb. So what happens with Capital is, as soon as that extension stops for some reason, if it's interrupted at some point, the resistance to flexion goes back to that high yielding resistance. So essentially that gives you the chance to hop back onto the other limb. And Zach, I'll say this. I appreciate all the kind words about the Capital. Zach could walk on a door hinge. He's such a strong walker and such a good walker. He can walk on a peg leg. He can walk on just about anything. And so he's good enough that he was able to really even demonstrate this function or test it out for us when we were beta testing with him, because he has the ability and the athleticism to be able to catch himself and be able to utilize that function. So it was nice to actually see that, because it's hard to test that function in a lab or on a machine or something along those lines. You really have to have it on somebody to be able to do that. So Zach was able to really do that. And there were times I was like, are you doing that on purpose? He's making the knee do all sorts of things when he's walking on it. And but he can really evaluate a lot of those functions, which is nice. So,
and guys,
that's the thing. You got to push it to the limit so you know where the limits are at. You see what I'm saying? How else are you going to know?
Yeah.
That's absolutely. I was like, if anybody could push something and push a limit on the prosthetic knee or foot, it would be Zach. And I think Haven is the other one giving you a run for your money. Between you and Haven, you can beta test every single prosthetic component out there. If it can survive you two, then you know it's good. It's good to go.
Amen.
Actually, Laura or Kristen, if you ladies are out there, can you post the link to the video of Zach using the knee? It's a really great video, and you can see him kind of putting it through some of his daily activities in there. So if you can post that link, Kristen or Laura, I think they're still on there. So folks can click on that and just kind of get an idea about that. And we had some, let's see, sorry, I'm clicking back here.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was that biking mode. I think, Zach, how long did you say it had been since you've been on a bike before we kind of tested that out with you?
It's been probably 5 years since I hopped on a bike since we shot it,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
but
I
I tell you what, it was just like riding a bike.
That sounds like one of my jokes, Zach. Come on now. Expect better out of you.
I'm a dad now. I got nothing but dad.
Yeah, you got
we know you're a dad for sure now. Yeah.
Nowhere to go but up. We've got, okay, so going back, actually, we've got a lot of our cancer survivors. Let me give a shout out to. We got Tom here. We've got Jill. We've got Roy's. Let's see. Who else we got? We got a few more people. William Mays, Johnny V, Diana. My goodness, we have a lot of cancer survivors here, guys. All right.
People want the shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. So let me just, okay. So Lee says, yep, tried everything from thigh and core set to Harmony, got fitted with pins 6 years ago, moved back to Iowa, hooking up with first prosthetic provider ever, going on 5 years since had the fitting, functional socket, short residual limb as well. So those of you out there, I'm just curious. Let's just do a quick little poll. How many of you out there are currently using a mechanical knee, or you're kind of up for changing your knee and you're considering a mechanical knee, just out of curiosity? All right, let's see. Kristen's going to put that link up there for us. Thank you, Chica. Really appreciate it. There we go, guys. So we've got a link up there. This is a link to the capital. Get more information on the capital knee itself. So while we're waiting to see who's using a mechanical knee, I'm going to do our second giveaway here. All right, got my hey, did you guys notice? I got my College Park mug. College Park mug. All right, it's the only other mug I have on here. All right, what else we got? What else we got? Rhonda Jones. Rhonda Jones. I think I saw her name up here earlier. Rhonda Jones, congratulations. You are the winner of the what all the cool kids are wearing, the rebuilt shirt. Make sure you send me your t-shirt size. Yeah. T-shirt size and address. Guys, those of you, if you guys have been kind of following some of the Insta stories, we've been having a lot of fun with Bob. So we just want to thank Bob for being a good sport, because he has been put through wrestling ninja moves this past week, waiting for Zach to come on board. So Zach, what are your thoughts on moving in the future with the capital knee? Full-time, part-time, athletic activities? What are your thoughts?
I think I have to rock with it full-time, simply due to the functionality of it and the weight of it, man. I feel like, because I'm not using a lot of energy by moving around, going through my daily activity. And that, as an amputee, a lot of people who are able-bodied don't really understand how much. I want to see scientific studies of the energy output of an amputee on an average day versus somebody who is able-bodied, because everything from getting up, standing down, to hopping in the shower, to making the bed, to going to the grocery store, to getting out of the car, to getting back in the car, everything requires that much more energy as an amputee, because I got to use my other limbs to make up for the fact that I'm missing a limb. And so anything for me that helps conserve that energy, because I need it, man. Like from sun up to sundown, I need that energy in terms of my quality of life and the quality of life that I can provide for my family and the people that I get to serve in my community. Yeah, go ahead, John.
No, sorry. I mean, they do. They do a lot of those types of studies with oxygen consumption. That's the way they categorize energy expenditure, right? And even not even, but a patient with a below the knee amputation, that's already sometimes a 40, 50, 60% increase. And then you go above the knee, and that's but they don't, like you're saying, they don't really do those tests when somebody's going through all of the activities of daily living. They're doing those things on a treadmill in a controlled environment, level walking, and comparing the two. But like you're saying, there's so much more that goes into it other than just walking. It's all those other movements that in and out of a car, it's up and down stairs. Those are exponentially more demanding on anybody's cardiovascular system. And certainly when you don't have the active ability to pull yourself up a step with a prosthesis, certainly with one that's above the knee, it's a huge increase in energy expenditure.
100%. And I think that's why as amputees, we have to put self-care as a priority and taking care of our physical health and our diet and it's more important for us than anybody else. Our core strength, making sure that our tendons are strong, our lower back, our hips, our knee, like we have to conserve and take care of ourselves. Amputees, it is a priority. And I'm sharing this out of experience for us to do that. And I think it's important to say for sure.
Absolutely. And guys, going back, some of you are asking that you would like to know the information on the energy expenditure. And a lot of it will depend on the literature that you look at. But some of the general values that you'll see, a Symes amputation, meaning someone who's only had their foot removed, that person is already using between 10 to 30% more energy than the average person with two anatomical legs. You're below the knee amputee. I know we've got a couple of below the knees here that are asking, the Roy's included. You're using anywhere between 40 to 60% more energy, depending, once again, the level of your below the knee amputation. When we're getting up into the above the knee, y'all are hitting 80% more energy. So when I talk to some friends of mine who are outside the clinical world and they're asking me, what's it like for someone to walk on a prosthesis? And I go, well, imagine you going out and running a 5K right now. That's the amount of effort that they are putting in all day long. And don't even get me started. Once we move into the bilateral side of things, now you're talking well upwards of over 100, sometimes even 300%. I've seen and for some of the bilateral above the knees. And when you think about the statistics as to who are the amputees or why is it that many amputees do not become functional ambulators, number one reason, energy expenditure, because it is just so taxing. And I have so many patients that come into the clinic and they are so disheartened because they can't get through their day and they don't understand why. They think it's something that they're not doing right. And they simply don't understand the actual increase in demands and endurance. So Zach, what you said is absolutely perfect. Not only do you have to keep your endurance up, you have to keep the muscular strength because all the rest of those muscles are working that much harder to compensate what is not there. The good news is it is possible. The person has to work a little bit harder at it and a little more consistently with it, but it is possible. No, you're absolutely right, Jill. It is not easy. Johnny says amputees are awesome and we rock it. Completely agree. John says, what about bilateral below the knee? And again, John, that's where it gets a little bit dicey with the numbers and statistics, but it's certainly over 100%. Once you're bilateral, you're using easily twice as much energy as the person next to you with two anatomical legs. So guys, yeah, and it might be higher. Obviously, the higher up you go, the more energy expenditure that you use. So any component, and that's kind of a benchmark for me. When I have someone coming in, they're saying, I got a new foot, or I got a new knee, or even I got a new socket. The first thing I ask them is, are you comfortable? And how are you getting through your day? And just to kind of throw it out there. So Zach, how did you notice a difference? I mean, did you notice a difference when you went from your original mechanical knee to the Orion and now to the capital knee?
Yeah, it's just gotten better with each iteration, each knee for me. Definitely the huge increase going into the Orion microprocessor knee because I didn't have to, and I demonstrated this with John, I didn't have to throw my leg forward anymore to take each step. It wasn't a total body movement. Going into the microprocessor knee, it just seemed to automatically know what I was doing when I was trying to do it, which was awesome. And it's the same functionality with the capital knee now, which I certainly appreciate. And my wife appreciates it too, because I get less cranky around this time. When we're trying to put the kids to bed and it doesn't always go as smoothly as planned, just like tech problems and Cosi talk. You know what I'm saying? So
problems here too. We get that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. My wife gives the capital knee a thumbs up too.
Happy wife, happy life.
Amen, sister.
Gotcha.
Oh my goodness. So guys, before we go into our third giveaway, let's see, we had one more person here. Sorry, there was a comment. Okay, from Mitch. Mitch says, I'm a left knee dysartic. I haven't used the C leg, the KX06, and the 3S80 knee. C leg is my primary knee used. And guys, this is one thing I like about the mechanical knee. It can be an extra component. So the same way you have different shoes for your different activities. You have running shoes, you have dancing shoes, you have shoes that you use when you go walking on the beach. Some of you, especially those of you who have different, very high activity levels, and you may already have a microprocessor knee, to have a mechanical knee, if that is an option for you, is a really great tool to have there, especially those of you who like to go hiking, who like to go camping, who like to go tear up the knee, and you don't sometimes necessarily want to take that expensive microprocessor knee. The mechanical knee is, for me, I'm just like, it's the workhorse. It can really get you to some of these activities, especially here in Florida where we have water. So just kind of wanted to throw it out there. And I think we're ready for our third and final raffle, guys. Get your questions in. Any questions that you might have for Jon, any questions that you might have for Zach. I know I'm getting tired when my tongue gets twisted up here at the simplest of words here. Hang on. Trying to grab onto a paper and they're all too slick. All right. Our next winner is Glenn Runyon. Congratulations, man. You got the third shirt for tonight. Make sure, Glenn, that you send me your address and your t-shirt size. Florida boy. Carl's a Florida boy. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. I do want to say a very, very special thank you to my sponsor for this evening, College Park Industries. Your team is amazing. Love you guys. Thank you so much for helping support this show. Jon, thank you so much for coming into the hot seat 2 weeks in a row.
Absolutely.
And Zach, as always, man, you're competing with Reggie for most amount of times on the Cosi Talk Show. Hopefully this will not be.
Hey, well, I've already beat him in the looks department. You see what I'm saying? So I might as well in the Cosi Talks department.
I thought you guys were going to get in the ring together or something. The last Cosi Talk I watched.
You saw that?
Did that happen?
Hey, I have a wrestling ring in my garage right now. There's a wrestling ring in my garage right now. I'll be happy to send him my address. He can show up anytime, any day. We can do it. We can do it 7 days a week, twice on Sunday if he wants. It doesn't matter. We can go all night because I have the energy thanks to my capital knee from College Park.
I don't know. He's rocking two soleus. So he's got the two soleus against your capital knee. So we're going to see what goes on there.
Yeah, that's it. Let's do it.
You know I'm sending this to him, right, Zach? If he's not on here tonight, I'm sending this. Total trash talking. All right, guys. Thank you once again for letting us be a part of your lives this evening. If we missed your questions, please do not be shy. Send me the questions. I am happy to look for answers and send you to the right place. And next week, we're going to see you guys. We're going to be talking about the skin you are in and how to take care of your skin. So watch out for more details for that, guys. All right, we're going to sign off. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. God bless, guys.
Love you. Bye.